Hey everybody, how you doing today? I hope this finds you well. So today we're going to be looking at Genesis chapter 37. Again, when we were here 2 weeks ago, this is the story of Joseph. And 2 weeks ago we talked about his dreams and his code and all the ways that his brothers hated him. That word hate was repeated several times. Well, today that hatred is going to come to a head. Joseph shows up in the field where his brothers are keeping the sheep, and nobody else is there. Dad's not there to protect him. Mom's not there to protect him. Nobody's there to watch over him, and the brothers take advantage of him, and they strip him of his coat. And that language is, revealing. They strip him. So it wasn't a gentle removal of the coat. They throw him into a pit, and then they sit down to eat, just like everything's fine, just like this is what's supposed to happen. And Joseph, bless Joseph's heart, he's down in the bottom of this pit awaiting his fate. Either they're going to kill him or something bad's going to happen. So the idea here is this, we talk about this this question a lot. Why do bad things happen to good people? Now, my standard answer to that is there are no such things as good people. But in this case, let's just adopt the question for a minute, because we have Joseph, who is innocent of this kind of treatment. I mean, this is not justice. This is hatred coming to a head and giving birth to sin. That's all this is. So Joseph is innocent of this kind of abuse. He doesn't deserve it, but they're going to give it to him anyway. So why is this happening? How come God's not stepping in to stop it? Because this isn't right. Well, you see, there's a bigger picture here. God's justice is seeing the entire picture of human history, and he knows that sending Joseph to Egypt will be a good thing later on. And so he uses the wickedness of the brothers to do a righteous thing, which is to save many lives. Now, later on, Joseph is going to explain all that to his brothers because they need it explained to him, and he does that. He's not bitter. He understands why God does it. But, in the moment, it's difficult. And so Joseph is stripped. He's thrown. He's sold. He's carried down into Egypt. He's put on the slave runway, and he's sold to Potiphar's house as a slave. He'll never see his parents. He'll never see his brothers. He'll never see anybody that he knows ever again. So it's not good, but it is good, because God's in it. And even though we don't see the ultimate result, which is the saving of lives, which we have later on, we do see God invisibly in the moment taking care of Joseph. That first statement there was no water in the pit. If you look at that verse, I think it's verse 34, I think it's verse 34. If you look at that statement, there was no water in the pit, you can see that even in that moment, God is there with Joseph. Because if there had been water in the pit, he could have drowned, he could have caught a cold, he could have suffered hypothermia in a cold pit with water in it. There could have been diseases in that pit. There could have been creatures in that pit with water. None of that happens. There's just a dry hole in the ground. And so God gives him a dry place to wait until the Ishmaelites come by and take him down to Egypt. Sort of like his own, his own waiting room. He's waiting for the bus. He's sitting in the bench waiting for the bus to show up. God's with him there. We don't see that because we're so focused on the crime that's happening. But even in the midst of that crime, God is working behind the scenes to bless Joseph, to keep him. And so I think that little phrase, that there was no water in the pit, tells us God's in the midst of this. Even though this is the evil that's happening to Joseph, God is using that evil, and during the whole experience, he's giving him a place that's safe. He's keeping him during the suffering. Well, anyway, I want you to read the pastor's letter today. Look at the devotion there. Pray for the prayer requests. Look at the catechism today. Some good things in the catechism. And meditate on Joseph and his quandary in the pit. And I hope I'll see you guys soon. Love you. Bye.